How's everyone today? It's Darren, Spoon River Bend Acres. Go down bottom right hand corner, hit the subscribe button. I do want to say thank you. I got 50 subscribers last night, so that's pretty cool. I didn't expect I would get that many people, but today we're going to be cooking up some more maple syrup. It's just kind of a bad day out. It's windy, cloudy. There's not going to be any sap, but I'll get into some sap stuff later. But I wanted to show you, I did end up cutting out a lot bigger hole than what we had. And I ended up getting some of this fire resistant insulation put in here also. And I cut it out. The size of my pan left about a 1-inch gap all the way around it for it to sit on the metal and stuff. As you can see, the metal's still there. So I watched a lot of stuff and some of you commented, and we were thinking different, that you wanted it just sit on here and it'd be like an old cast iron wood stove. You set a pot of water on there and start boiling, but that's not the case. You want it to be raging boiling. So we're going to kick up the fire here, and since there's really nothing else to do, we ended up getting, I think there's about 14 gallons of sap. It's not really a lot, but with the weather, it's going to have to be enough that we're not going to get any more sap for a little while. So I'm just going to go ahead and cook this. It's kind of semi-frozen-ish. So, well, we'll get a fire going and we'll start cooking some sap. Well, we got our fire going, so we're going to go back up to the house where it's a little bit warmer. You can see the bottom of that pan there. So we'll go up to the house, let it start cooking, start heating up, and get the fire burnt down a little bit, and then we'll come back down about half hour or so and see what the fire looks like. Well, the fire's going good. I've been running around this morning. We've had to, wife's working on a Saturday, so I've had to not be down here the whole time because, well, we got 3 kids and one had basketball practice, so I've just been running down intermittently, throwing in some more wood, but now we're finally going. So it's been 4 hours since I started it, and I know it's hard to see, but it started up here. So, I mean, we've cooked off some. And with cutting that bigger hole, it has made it much more efficient. It's getting hotter, it's staying hotter longer, and all that. So we're gaining. We got our warmer pot here. So once this evaporator gets cooked down some more, then we'll take some out of the warmer pot, dump it in there. I don't have the whole warmer tray and everything set up yet. It's just second year, so that's what we're going with. But it's cooking. So I know earlier I said something about sap, and last year I did the Amazon thing, thought I was going cheap. I bought these on Amazon. You got 10 of these plastic taps with 10 lines, 2-foot pieces of pipe with it, the blue pipe and all that. And it was a US company, and they gave you detailed instructions, and it helped me a lot going, getting started last year. Like I said, I had 240 gallons on 17 taps, all sugar maples, and it worked great. For the first timer, I was like, this is cool, this is awesome. Now, I still think these work good in my sugar maple, because my sugar maples, the ground's still pretty frozen. It's been slow. But I know I used these same ones last year and they work great. But over at the shop, we tapped those silver maples, and I think these, you can get them in a little too far, and I don't think, you can see like right in here is where it starts tapering. And I think with those silver maples, if you get it in too far, it just completely, I wouldn't say it cuts off the flow, but I think it slows down the flow. So the other day we took these out, and I bought these from a different company, and they actually have a spot on them there, if you can see it, that actually shows you how far in to tap them. So I pulled these out of those silver maples, and we had only gotten maybe 10 gallons. Okay? It was 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I pulled out the plastic ones, put in these metal ones, and I only tapped them in to that mark, and we had sap flowing, and I kind of kick myself now for not buying these. These are only $1 a piece, and I got these in 100 foot of line, of the blue line, and shipped to my house for free, and I think it was like 85 bucks. So I got enough to tap 50 of these taps, for 85 bucks compared to 10 of these for 30 bucks. So do the math. I thought I was saving with Amazon. Apparently I wasn't. But the point is, like, Evan was with me, and we got these tapped in, put in like at 2. And yesterday morning we went over there, and that's where most of the sap came from. But we had probably 7 to 8 gallons of sap. I think we were closer to the 8-gallon mark of sap just from 2 o'clock overnight, and it got cold enough to where it froze. So I think with those silvers, if you put these in, you get them seated a little too far. It slows down your sap. So I see a lot of people saying that, and I just want to put that out there from what I've experienced. Well, we're still out here cooking away, and this has sped up the process a lot. Like, this is going a lot faster than what it ever has. A lot better than last year and stuff. So we're getting closer. I'd say probably another hour or so. We should be getting down to where we'll be able to pull it and actually finish it off up at the house. But Lee and I got bored of standing around, so we made ourselves a little makeshift bench. That's what we do. It's slap some lag bolts in it and make a little bench, but just keeping the fire going. But you can start smelling that maple coming off that syrup pretty good now. Starts making everything smell really good. So we'll keep you updated and probably show you once we get back in the kitchen and show you guys, finishing it off. Well, we got it up here at the house, and so I just cook it on down. It'll take a while to get it down, but I don't know how many of you grew up watching Emeril Lagasse, but he always talked about the smell-o-vision. If you could only smell what this tasted like, it's unreal. And look at that color. Well, we got Lee out filtering right now, going through the final filter. But man, that is some good looking home maple syrup. That stuff right there, oh man, it's hard to explain how cool it is to be able to make it yourself. And that's gonna make quite a bit, but I'll let you guys know how much it makes, and we'll see how many of these. We got a couple jelly jars, and then I got 1 pint jar just in case. But a lot of these are going to go to family and friends, make all them happy. Maybe a couple of the kids' teachers, make them happy too. So we'll see how much it makes. Well, it's the next morning, but there's our maple syrup. Tell you what, that stuff turned out really good. And we do have a little bit of some other things to work on with it, but I think we're getting there. You know, last year, boiling down 15 gallons last year would have taken us probably 12 hours. And like I said yesterday, you know, I couldn't sit there with it constantly yesterday. So, you know, I think we probably boiled, I don't know, probably maybe 7 hours, you know, but if I could sit there with it, it'd make it go a lot faster. But I hope everyone learned, you know, showing you kind of what I'm doing here. And hopefully if you want to do this in your own backyard, it's not that hard. It doesn't really cost that much, you know, if you just, you know, last year I started out on my stove, then I bought that pan, that evaporator pan, you know, and then this year I built the burner. And, you know, if you just start small, like I probably could have just done the turkey fryer thing, and then on my stove last year probably would have been the best way for me to go. But, you know, I figure if I spend a little bit of money each year, we'll eventually get there, you know, we'll get a little bit bigger. But it's cold out, it's winter, now they're calling snow this week. But I've got a guy, he needs pictures of some wood to build him a table, so we're starting to get busy, you know, and it's so cool to finally, this is years in the making, you know, to get kind of to where we are, and it's pretty cool. So everyone, click the subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one. We are videoing, I will say, before I leave, we are videoing building another table off that short that I did. So we're building it. It'll take a while. I might split it up into 2 different videos, that way we don't have just one long video. But enough rambling. I'll see you on the next video.